What do you know about the settlement that Jeep came to about the death wobble issue? Did you see anything with that?
I've had my head in the sand, man, the last freaking few weeks.
Well, it looks like so I think it's 2018 and 2020 Wranglers and Gladiators. Do you remember when they first came out? I don't remember the exact issue, but
yeah, I saw a lot of people on the
were
internet having crazy problems.
Yeah, it's like shaking on the front end.
Yeah. Did they figure out what they want to do? Like did they blame any failed component? Like I know I know the JL and the Gladiator went to electronic steering. You know what I mean?
Well, I think what they said was it was a failed front suspension damper. Does that sound right?
Like steering stabilizer?
I guess.
That's right.
Yeah, I think that's I guess. Yeah, well, it's funny because isn't that what everyone said to use to as the sort of whether it was Band-Aid or not, was everyone was like, just throw it.
That's what everyone's go to. Usually,
right?
like 99.9% of the time, the challenge is a caster challenge. You don't have enough. You don't have enough positive caster in your vehicle, so you want to make that. You're just sitting on the weird side of over center, like you're way too far over center of the wheel, like the tire.
Right. Sure.
So you're gonna be on the. It's like you trying to balance on the front end of a giant like basketball or something. You know what I mean? You're just gonna. But if you're on the back side of it, which is adding caster, you're gonna lazy that wheel. The steering wheel is gonna feel heavier, which is nice for. Not nice for performance cars, but it's so much, but nice for Jeeps and lifted trucks and all that fun stuff.
Right.
So you want to put as much caster as possible, right?
Looks like under the settlement, I just brought it up here. So it looks like it's Jeep's extending the warranty coverage now to 8 years or 90,000 miles. My question is, I wonder if it's just U.S. Like I would suspect so. It's like U.S. only, but like what about Europe? And yeah, I mean anything that I've seen, it was. I mean, they were sued in U.S. court, right? So it was a class action brought forward by, Americans. So I'm guessing, but I mean, I guess the typical warranty, right, is 36,000 miles. So they're going up 8 years and 90,000 miles to include.
Remember when Chrysler used to have that when it was
Daimler
Chrysler? I used to. That's right. You used to sell those.
I used to sell those bad boys. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and it was like. It was 5 years, 60,000 bumper to bumper, and then 7 year whatever. I'm pretty sure it was.
Wasn't there like more? Wasn't there like a crazy one? Like
Mitsubishi had like a 10-year one at one.
Yeah, there's like a decade one. Yeah, and I was like, that's pretty epic.
Yeah, and at the time it was basically Chrysler, right? Like they sold.
So they knew that they were going to sell it in 3 years. So like, we're going to give it a 10-year warranty.
That's right. But only if your car can make it back to the dealership, which there's no way it will. So.
Yeah, it's like those scrapyards. Is you pull, you carry, you keep.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah, exactly. As much as you can carry for $100. So, yeah. So going up to, but it includes all parts and labor needed to just replace the front suspension damper. So there you go.
That's not a very big deal. I mean, it would be in like cumulatively, but to just change out that steering damper, which I think is so strange that's the challenge. It doesn't look that way. Like when you're watching those videos, I remember watching them. Like,
right? I don't know. I'm glad. I guess I'm glad. So you said that what did they switch it out to?
Oh, I didn't. I don't know what they switched it out to. I'm just saying that if they just change the dampener for a different dampener, I don't know. I think it's a caster problem. I can have like a geometry challenge up there versus like just a stabilizer.
Got it. Yeah, fair enough.
You're definitely gonna stabilize. They have like. Not that people knock it, like for road use, like a steering stabilizer, especially with a bigger, wider tire, it's nice because it dampens that deflection off any road challenges, right? You hit a little pothole, instead of your wheel just going whatever, you have that dampener that is dual load that it'll just suck that up, right? So it's good, right? But I mean, it does help for death wobble. It would definitely help because it's something resistance either way to help mitigate that out of control shimmy, right? But yeah, I mean, you don't, and if you're just going off road, you definitely don't need a steering stabilizer.
Yeah,
I've heard people confused about that. It's like, oh, I'm going to go off road and I should get a dual steering stabilizer. I'm like, well, no. I mean, you can get a dual stabilizer and you can make the road, like we just talked about, feel better. But it's all for on-road performance. It does not aid you in off-road performance whatsoever.
Yeah, right.
It might even hinder you. Like it's just going to give you more resistance if you're doing slow and you're putting weight on the vehicle in different angles. You're going to have more hydraulic resistance in the steering because you're going to work against your stabilizer as well, right? So it's really just road performance. But if you put enough caster in it, you don't really need one. I mean, but that could be just per person too. You'd be like, I really want it to feel,
but it looks cool,
solid. Yeah, I mean, sure. Just paint it. You can paint it theme color and whatever you want.
Right? Exactly. That's exactly it right there.